Greetings, critical viewers. First of all, before I get into the topics in the title, it's down there now. I'd like to thank everyone who helped me get to 10,000 subscribers, because that is a crazy number, and I didn't think when I first started this channel that I would ever get to a number with 5 digits in it. That is nuts. So, you know, thank you to everyone for your continued viewership, or for your new viewership in some cases, for your comments, for your likes, for your shares in some cases, and of course for your subscription. I'd like to thank you guys for that, because obviously without you guys it wouldn't be possible. I hate when people say that in these subscriber thank yous. It's like, yeah, if without them you'd have 0 subscribers. So anyway, but I asked you guys on my Facebook page what I should do for my 10,000 subscriber video, and I kind of got the usual litany of recommendations. It was, you know, do a montage, do, you know, a live stream, do, you know, play games with us on Steam, and, you know, and don't worry, I have something coming based on those recommendations. But I sat there and I was wondering, you know, what do I want to do? And because I can take my own recommendations too. And I want to do this. I want to stand in front of a camera and I want to talk about things that I normally don't get to talk about when I'm making Let's Play videos, when I'm sitting in the dark and talking to myself into a camera while I play a game. And you know, this is something that I spend 3 to 4 hours a day on after I come home from work, and I work typically a 40 to 50 hour work week, depending on how crazy it gets, which is, you know, it isn't as much as some people work, but it's full time. And then, you know, I come home and then I do videos, and pretty much all the time that I spend at home alone is spent playing video games or something related to Harshly Critical. Now, of course, sometimes I'll take days off and go have fun with my friends or my girlfriend, or, you know, go out to bars or whatever it is people like to do. And yeah, but most of my free time is spent doing this channel, and it's taken me 2 years and 2 months to get to this point. I've uploaded over almost 900 videos, which is a lot. That's more videos than a lot of people who make a living off of this have uploaded in their time here on YouTube. But that's neither here nor there. What I want to talk about is I want to talk about Facecam. I want to talk about jump scares and games based around jump scares. I want to talk about indie horror games, AAA horror games, and the role of horror Let's Players in all of it. So, but in order to talk about that stuff, we should probably go back to when I first started on YouTube, and I first started doing this. And that was 2 years and 2 months ago, like I said. And back then, you know, it wasn't, horror Let's Playing wasn't a fad like it is now. It's kind of a big thing. Let's Playing in general has blown up over the past couple years, but horror Let's Playing in particular has been especially popular, thanks to the most subscribed to Let's Player on YouTube, and I think he's in the top 5 subscribed period, PewDiePie. Now, you know, 2 years ago when I started this channel, PewDiePie, I believe when I first subscribed to him and when I first watched his videos, he had 6,000 subscribers, and he had only uploaded footage of Amnesia: The Dark Descent and Penumbra: Black Plague, and he didn't have Facecam, and he was much calmer while he played compared to today, and it was just a completely different experience than it is now. But, you know, there was no Cementos Ken, there was no Markiplier, there was no Yamimash, there was no a lot of these guys that have sprung up in the past 2 years. And so I think that horror Let's Playing is something that's really kind of sprung up in the past couple of years, and I think that there are 2 main games to thank for that. First of all, and these games also owe, I think, horror Let's Players like PewDiePie a great deal of thanks for their increased popularity, in my opinion. The first is Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And the first time I ever heard of Amnesia: The Dark Descent, because it's a PC-only game, was I watched this video, and those of you that were around to remember this will laugh greatly when I say I've got a bag of Milky Ways. It was a video uploaded by a username with the charming handle of Dildo Bitch. And it was titled Amnesia What the Fuh. and you can still find it now. He took it down. I'm not sure why, but of course there are mirrors and re-uploads and things like that. So you can find it. It's a pretty fun. It's like I might be wrong, but it's the original Amnesia reaction compilation, and I thought it was just so funny. I watched it over and over. Even with one of my roommates at the time, we thought it was just so funny. And then I decided to buy Amnesia and play it for myself because I just had to play this game. I wouldn't say that I was a horror game enthusiast or by any stretch of the imagination before I started this channel. So I really have YouTube to thank for my increased interest in the genre for sure. And by the way, this is going to be a long video. I apologize in advance. It's just the nature of the beast. I talk a lot, and there's a lot of things to talk about. So, yeah, but Amnesia really started gaining popularity. Custom stories started coming out. PewDiePie started playing all of them. Then all these other YouTubers, Cry, Chaotic Monkey, and the guys that I mentioned before, they all started playing Amnesia custom stories, and well, the ones that were around back then, and it kind of really. It didn't turn into a viral sensation or anything like I would say Slender definitely did. But, it really gained popularity, and I don't have any hard data to back this up. This is just speaking purely on intuition. But I think that part of Amnesia's success could be attributed to horror Let's Plays on YouTube, if not a large part of it. Because, like I said, I wouldn't know about it if it wasn't for YouTube. And people I know in real life that know about Amnesia, which is a very, very small number, by the way, know about it from YouTube. People I know in real life know about PewDiePie. That they don't play video games. They don't play horror video games. They play like Call of Duty and stuff, but they know who PewDiePie is. It's crazy. Anyway, so yeah, I think that horror Let's Plays on YouTube are, they have power to influence, the popularity and success of some of these games. And of course, Slender came around about a year ago, and I mean that thing just completely blew up. And I mean, there's a teens react to Slender. Like everyone played Slender, and it got millions of views, and everyone was just Slender. I remember at the time I didn't play it till months after because I was like, really? Because I saw like a little bit of footage from the game, just a little bit, not enough to really understand what's going on. And I was like, this. Anyway, but that's an opinion for another time. And I think that reaction videos on YouTube really played a part in Slender's success and notoriety. And now there's Slender: The Arrival. There's that's coming up next Tuesday. That's coming up. Damn. Oh, I gotta get that. I just want to see what they did with it. I just want to see what they did with it. There's Haunt, the real Slender game, Slender's Woods, the Slenderman's Shadow, and all that mess. And it's become a little annoying, to be honest. But my point is that horror games and reaction videos on YouTube. I mean, this is what Let's Plays, in my opinion, are like best at, are horror games. Because I'm not talking about Facecam, screaming and overreacting at things on the screen. I'm talking about just horror games are exciting. They're one of the most exciting genres of games. They can also be one of the most boring genres of games when you're wandering around wondering what the fuck to do because you don't know the answer to a puzzle or something like that. But they're a very exciting genre of games, and people watch them for entertainment. And I think that is crazy and awesome. However, I think that there are some things that have been happening lately in videos that I've been watching that I think are a little disturbing, and they're things that I'm guilty of myself, by the way. So do not consider this an attack on anyone else on YouTube. This is not an aggressive rant or anything like that. It's just I'm voicing some concern about some of these issues. All right, I cut it once because I started talking about things that didn't matter. Okay, Facecam. Some people have been asking me why I don't include Facecam on some videos, but I do on others. Facecam, I think, is a great tool for a very particular type of video. Now, if you're playing a game like Slender, if you're playing a game like Illusion Ghost Killer or Jeff the Killer, or some of these other jump scare centric games, I think that Facecam can help glean some entertainment from an otherwise limited entertainment pool from that game. You know, putting face cam up into the left and seeing your reaction, seeing your face when something pops up and surprises you. You know, I think that that's the use of face cam. Throwing face cam up on games like Amnesia, One Late Night. If you haven't played One Late Night, it's great. And other more atmospheric horror games, I feel is a waste, because the reason why it works with jump scare games is because jump scares are about you. They're not about the game. When something pops up and surprises you, it's all about, did you see that? Did you see the look on my face? And all that stuff. And so I think face cam is appropriate for things like that. Because I, for one, think that jump scares are hollow. I think that it's very shallow horror. I know it's what a lot of people these days seem to think of as synonymous with horror, is a jump scare. And I've heard people say things like, I'm looking for an Amnesia custom story with lots of jump scares. I'm looking for a game with some good jump scares. And, you know, they'll be playing the games and they'll say, please, no jump scares. And to me, it's just completely nonsensical. Because a jump scare is surprising. Okay, question 1. Do you have friends? Okay, then that means that you've had friends who have jumped out at some point from behind a door, from behind a couch, out of a closet, and you know, something like that, and they've scared you. They surprised you. They came out unexpectedly, and if they were accompanied by a loud, jarring noise, then you'd probably jump even higher and scream even louder. And that makes for great entertainment. But it is not what I consider to be horror. And I think that lately, now more than ever, jump scare centric games have taken the place in the spotlight instead of atmospheric brilliance. And you know, you can really tell when a game that I think is great. You know, I'll use this as an example. One Late Night. I think that game is great. It's very atmospheric. It's very much based on, you know, there's some jump scary parts, but it's based mainly around an unsettling atmosphere and immersion and things like that, which I think are all the greatest strengths of horror games. You compare that with a game like Jeff the Killer, which is a terrible game. It's honestly awful. And you know, I played it recently, and you know, I just play these games blindly. People recommend them to me. I download them, and then I throw them up immediately, and I record, and I usually just upload because I don't want that time to go to waste. But you know, it's everyone knows about. I feel like those games get more views, and I understand that this is YouTube and it's primarily for entertainment. I don't know who is running that water, but it's driving me crazy. That's what I get for recording in my bathroom, though. I just wanted the hallway. That's all. It's nice. Anyway, so I can't. Now I lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot. I hope the shower was worth it. I hope it's a great shower. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, and I understand this is YouTube and people are on here. You know, they're here to see. Did you see his face? They're not here to say, "Oh, I'm scared too." You know, I don't know if that's not a very good explanation, but that's the gist of it. And so people have asked me, you know, why don't you throw up Facecam? And I thought it might be good to explain in video why it is that I don't do that. First of all, I feel like it's inappropriate for games that aren't centric around, you know, surprise, and they're not centric around facial expressions and reactions like that. Second of all, I think that putting your face up in the corner is disrespectful to the game, especially if you're playing an indie game by either, you know, a lone developer, or, you know, it's a paid game that, you know, they need to sell. You know, I feel like, you know, if you're gonna upload a video like that, you should pay proper respect to the game. And I've been guilty of totally not doing this. I mean, I've even more egregious than the face cam thing is when I think when people put their scared face on a custom thumbnail, you know, and anyway, but I have done that as well. I have done that. If you want proof, go to the description and scroll down to the gray playlist, because I plastered my face all over those custom thumbnails. That's the only time I've done it, but I take solace in the fact that gray was an awful mod, in my opinion. So, I don't really feel too bad about it. Anyways, I think because when you put up Facecam, it's no longer about the game. The game is not the complete and total center of attention in the video. You brought yourself into it. And I think that a lot of times, you make yourself the spotlight, because when something scary happens, you're up in the top corner freaking out. And yeah, it's funny to watch, but I mean, if it's a really great game, if it's a really atmospheric, just brilliant game like Amnesia, I think that it should be left to its own devices. And I've noticed that the main reason why I get so disturbed about this is like, it would be one thing if just some people did it, but now everyone's doing it because everybody's trying to make it. And I look at a lot of smaller channels today, and a lot of them have Facecam. And I think it's because they think that they need it in order to get subs, to get views, to get out there. And I think that that's sad. You know, and it's a problem that's embodied every time that I get a comment. Why don't you use Facecam? You should use Facecam. Where's the Facecam? And, you know, I'm not mad about getting comments like that. I'm not attacking the people who leave those comments. But it just enforces this mandatory, unnecessary, and frankly detracting aspect that people have been adding to these videos. And I feel like people are just doing it out of habit now. It's like, well, I want to make a YouTube channel. Well, I want to play scary games. Well, I've got to have Facecam. No, you don't. And, you know, I think that Chaotic Monkey Cry is a prime example of that. Never used Facecam on any video. He's just, it's purely, and he doesn't even play like jump scare games. He plays great games, first of all. I don't think that I've ever seen Cry play a game. I know that there are some, but I haven't seen them play a game that I haven't been like, that was a great game. He's got, you know, great choice in games, and Cry is the type of Let's Player that I would love to be like someday. And, you know, he's pretty big. I know that he's done some videos with PewDiePie, and that obviously helped a lot. But, you know, his viewership is based mainly around just providing great commentary and playing entertaining, for the most part, pretty scary games that are good. And, you know, I think that he's a prime example of, you know, you can not that I'm trying to make this an issue of integrity, because this is YouTube. This is entertainment. This is fun. Most of us are doing this for free. You know, we're providing free entertainment, and we're not really getting much back from it. But, yeah, so you can't really make this about integrity, or, you know, I don't know. I know a lot of people kind of rage about Facecam sometimes, or rage about like, this jump scare game is terrible, and I'm guilty of doing that too sometimes. But, you know, it's really not an issue of like, you know, that guy has Facecam and he only plays jump scare maps. No integrity. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not trying to say that at all. I'm trying to communicate my views on the subjects and where I want to go with this channel. And like I said, I know I've been guilty of egregious transgressions in both of those departments. But I really think that horror Let's Plays on YouTube have the unique chance to influence where the horror genre goes. Because, I mean, like I think I said this before, I don't know, because I just cut out like 20 minutes of ranting. So, I think I said this. Horror, I wouldn't say it was a dying genre before, you know, horror Let's Plays and Amnesia, The Dark Descent and all that stuff came along, but it was a pretty stagnant genre. You had your major players. You had Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Fatal Frame, I guess, you know, and you had like those major AAA, Dead Space came in there and shook things up a little bit. You had those major AAA horror titles. And, you know, they're going on like their 8th sequel, not really, but, you know. And it was just kind of more of the same, and I think things were stagnant for a long time, and now things are all fresh with these cool new indie games. You know, the SCP Containment Breach, you know, although it has, you know, its fair share of jump scares, it's a really great game, and it's in alpha. You know, and I think that a lot of these new indie games that crop up, they're being given a great chance for some popularity and publicity that they wouldn't have gotten 2 years ago. Thanks to horror Let's Playing on YouTube. And, you know, not to act all self-important, like, we're giving them a chance. Or, I'm not trying to say anything like that. I'm just saying that, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that, you know, Let's Players in the specific genre of horror on YouTube have a unique chance to influence where this genre goes, because I think it's going to go the way that the indie games go. I think it's going to go the way of, you know, obviously, you know, we've got Slender the Arrival coming up, which I'm going to play just because I want to see what happens, what they did with all that stuff, and, you know, A Machine for Pigs. There's some really great, like, awesome Outlast is coming up. There's some really awesome indie horror titles coming up later this year. And as far as AAA horror titles, no idea. I really have no idea. And, you know, and I think that, you know, top YouTubers, not me, but some other guys have a chance to bring some of those really good games to the spotlight. And I'd really like to see this genre flourish, and I really care about this channel and this style of videos, so I thought I'd make a video talking about it. Yeah. I guess that's about it. I'll edit this video together and make sure that I didn't say the same thing twice anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, like it, and yeah, I will see you guys later. We'll get back to games, promise. This will be the most you see of my face for a while. I just ran into my thermostat trying to be dramatic. I'll see you guys later. Think critically.